Good morning, friends. Welcome to the GREGGS review. It's a currently acceptable time of 11:35, so we're going to make some lunch or some dinner if you're from up north like me. Now, unfortunately, England has been taken over by vast extreme weather conditions. So in this case, I have been unable to go to GREGGS to get my meal. So unfortunately, I will have to try something slightly different. I'm going to try these vegetable bakes from Iceland. Now, I've never even tried these from GREGGS, so this will both be in parts a review and a tutorial about how to make these. As you can see, we will have a delicious mix of various vegetables. I wonder if they will work. I'm concerned about this, spices and chili cheese. I would have thought these were vegan, because in my current situation I would kind of like to pull a hot vegan chick, and I don't know, this would have been the only alternative, but this will be difficult. So I will see you guys down in the kitchen, and I will show you how to prepare this delicious meal. Okay, so welcome to the kitchen. I do apologize for the state. It's never been the same since. My ex was always really good at washing up. Okay, so the first thing to do is read the instructions. Now we have a fan assisted for 200 degrees at 25 minutes. To enjoy these delicious vegetable bakes at their best, bake from frozen, that's okay, we can do that. Preheat oven and baking tray. Okay, we need a baking tray. That is very important, and I will tell you why. Bake the bakes flat sides down, and the bake. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so first things first. Preheat the oven. I want to do an example about why we use a bake. Oh, for fuck's sake. There we go. Okay. There we go. So, fuck knows what's on this baking tray. To protect your beautiful GREGGS from any danger and any contamination, I strongly recommend using aluminum foil. I don't know how to cut this with one hand. Perfect. So how you want to place so this is what they look like from frozen. How you want to place them on your baking tray is just like this, not like this. No, you need to place them like this. And I know some lazy people like to just throw them in the oven straight away. However, I want this to taste as good as possible, so I'm going to follow the instructions to exact precision. Oh shit. Just leave them there for a second. Now I'm going to quickly tell you a story about why we need a baking tray and how important it is. Now, this isn't my first time with an Iceland meal, GREGGS Iceland meal. So, now, I'm just going to do a quick diagram. Let me find some free paper. There we go. Okay, so now what has happened in the past? You have two options. You have the baking tray, which is shaped like this. And then you have the regular... I don't know what you call this, sort of grid-like tray, which is shaped like this. Now, what I thought at first is that you could use these, because if you've got your GREGGS on here, now if we see this from a side view, then in the baking tray you're not getting much cooking from this direction, you're only getting it from the outside. So you might end up with a soggy bottom and it might be weird. So that's why I thought this would be the best alternative, using a grid sort of like tray. However, what happened to me with my grid-like tray is that these GREGGS become quite unstable and they can fall through and leave a splat on the ground, which is very sad, and that has happened to me before. So I strongly recommend using a baking tray. If it looks like shit like mine did, please use aluminum foil. And just be careful when you're cooking. Okay, so the timer is set for 25 minutes, and I will return then and give my full review after cooling. And in the meantime, I thought I'd give another lesson. If you're like me and missing the touch of a woman, you might want to start looking into hot vegan chicks, as mentioned previously. Now, something hot vegan chicks love more than anything, for some reason, is smoothies and juicing. They think it's going to change the world. So a way to get into that is just by getting into making it. This isn't traditionally GREGGS, but it'll be a part of the review. I can imagine GREGGS making smoothies pretty soon. They're a very modern company. They think things through. So I think they're not going to miss out on this fad. Now, I'm just going to jump cut. Okay, so once you've got all your frozen fruit in the thing, chicks usually like to add something like oats for some reason. God, this is a pain to do with one hand. Oh. Shit. Oh. Oh, for God's sakes. Oats are really good if Okay, so oats are really good if your diet makes you protein deficient. Now, unfortunately, what we need now, the last ingredient, is just something a bit wet. So we look into the fridge. God, it fucking stinks. Unfortunately, all this hipster milk isn't mine, so I'm going to have to use regular milk. However, if you're getting into a vegan chick, just replace this with soy milk. It'll taste so much worse, but you'll have a chance with her maybe. Yeah, that's in date. It'll do. Shove that in. That should be enough. Okay. Oh, it's not plugged in. Okay, so I've just helped that along with a bit of milk. Now, traditionally, I would be using my trusty GREGGS mug. However, fucking Colin has it. So I will not be able to use that. I'll just be using a normal pint glass, which will take away from the GREGGS. So yeah, let's see how it tastes. I mean, the texture's awful, it's quite sludgy, but it's nice and fruity. It should go down with my vegetarian meal. Let's see how they're getting on. They still have 13, it took me 10 minutes to make that. They still have 13 minutes left. Let's see how they're, oh, looking nice and crispy. Maybe a bit too crispy, my liking. If they still have a way to go, well, I'll follow the timer, I'll stick to my guns, and we'll see what they look like in 13 minutes time. Okay, red alert, the extractor fan is on. I've just heard these sizzling away. The timer is yet to be finished, but they're already looking pretty burnt. Oh no. Oh, this is awful. Oh, it's so steamy. Okay. Now, I followed the instructions precisely, and the time is just finished. Now, I did the sole bit. I'm so disappointed. I did it to exactly 25 minutes, and obviously they needed much less time than that. So, this is sad. Okay, so we are upstairs, nice and safe from the awful storm outside, and this is what we're left with. I've had a constant trouble with my Iceland GREGGS things burning. I don't know why this is. Maybe I need to just use less time. Ooh, I can see a little dribble coming through. I'm going to eat that. No idea what to expect. It's nice. It's edible. The onion's coming through. Okay, so now to do the cross section. We didn't really have a usable knife. Oh. That's just not working. Oh! I mean, you're not really getting your money's worth, are you, really? You can fit another whole bake inside of that. I suppose that's what you're supposed to do. And for a quick comparison, I mean, it doesn't look good on the box, so I don't think it's going to look great in real life. Where's all the red pepper? Oh, there's one. There's one. There's all the red peppers. There's loads in there. Okay, I'm going to eat this. Oh, look. It's too hot. I'll cut back later on. Okay, now they're at a suitable temperature to eat. And here I go. Let's go for this one. Now, from previous experience, I've had a bit of I've burnt these before. However, the flavour from the inside has completely taken over any taste of burn. However, this time the burn is still there. It's still very prominent. I don't know whether or not it's just because it's too burnt. It tastes really good. I'm surprised. Might be because there's cheese, which is the only non-vegan thing in here. But you know, if you're taking a girl who's vegan to GREGGS, which is a typical first date area, you might want to get yourself one of these. Just because you might get some points. I mean, you won't get the full points, but that's good. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this without filming. I'm gonna do a quick review of the smoothie, which is nothing to do with GREGGS. I just made this, but it's really good. You know what? I can get into this. This is all very tasty. It doesn't look the part, but it's tasty. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so it has been consumed. And as you can see, there's an absolute graveyard of crumbs left. I think that's mostly due to the fact that it was pretty burnt. You would never get this from a normal GREGGS. They know what they're doing. I'm not a professional. Like, those guys must have to train for years to get it right. All I can really compare it to is the cheese and onion bake from GREGGS. And I don't think they should actually... I don't think these should gain any points for being vegetarian. I don't think that at all. If you're doing an vegetarian option, it needs to taste as good as, say, the steak bake or the sausage, bean and cheese melts. And these they didn't really live up to that expectation. They tasted nice. However, I didn't have that drive in me to constantly want to go back for another bite. However, as I said before, going back to comparing these to the cheese and onion bakes, I actually prefer the cheese and onion bakes to what I enjoyed here. And all this is a cheese and onion bake, but with vegetables in it. I don't understand how it went so much wrong. There's almost like a change in the flavour. I might need to test the cheese and onion bake from the Iceland ready meals. But however, I was quite disappointed with this, and to be fair, my favourite part of this was the smoothie, which I made and has nothing to do with GREGGS. So they let me down on this time, guys. You let me down. Okay, so the score is... Oh, there's one with a crash here. Let's do that one. Oh. What? Why is this video 15 seconds long? Anyway, it's a 4 out of 10. The lowest score I think I've ever given a GREGGS. I was very disappointed with with what I had. However, it was still good. there were still tastes. I feel great. The vegetables might give me a brighter day today with all the healthiness that is in them and all the nutrients. However, as it comes to Greg's experiences, this was fairly low. So after a long half an hour of reviewing, it's nice to unwind with a beer. The best way to start a Saturday morning. Oh my God. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you guys on the next Greg's review. Take care.